have to wait a little bit longer on Thursday. Voting during the COVID-19 era.
Every election is important, but this is a really good dress rehearsal.
Shelby County Administrator of Elections Linda Phillips says her team is ready for Election Day Thursday, as it will also give them an even better idea what to expect when the November election gets here. But this August election, she says, has been unusual. Listen to this.
In a typical August election like this, we would have had 1,000 absentees. We sent out 19,440.
And when it comes to voting early, Phillips says typically in August, 32 to 33,000 people vote early. But this time, they had around 60,000.
So I don't know. I don't know if a lot of people will turn out on Election Day or they decided to go early.
But she has this message for some voters who might show up in person to cast a provisional ballot.
A provisional ballot is normally for when a voter thinks they're registered, but we don't have a record of it.
Sometimes that happens. It's an all-paper process. You fill out other forms besides just a ballot.
It has impact here for this election because people who applied to vote absentee cannot vote in person except on a provisional ballot. So if their ballot was late or they're concerned about it, they do have the right to come in on Election Day and vote a provisional ballot.
And Stephanie, she says that can be a lengthy process, sometimes taking 20 minutes or more of time. So make sure you plan that time into your schedule there when you do go to vote. One other note for you right now is that she did say if you did have an absentee ballot, you cannot deliver that in person. You'll still need to send it in some kind of expedited form by mail. We're live in Midtown tonight. Shay Arthur, WREG News Channel 3.
All right, you need to get those in if you have them. Thank you, Shay. Well, you've heard plenty about this week's election and surely have seen some of those political ads, but here is a look at what Tennessee voters will be choosing. It's the primary election for seats in the U.S. Senate and House of Representatives, along with various state Senate and House seats. Several school districts are choosing their representative, and there's a race for Shelby County General Sessions Court clerk. To see what will be on your ballot, go to WREG.com. We have a link to a sample ballot. We have breaking news just in from the ATF. 32 guns were stolen from a northeast Memphis gun shop. Police are looking for these men who broke into shoot point blank today. The ATF and the National Shooting Sports Foundation are offering a reward of up to $10,000. Contact Crime Stoppers if you know anything about this. And new at 6 tonight. COVID-19 cases jumped past the 1,000 mark in Tipton County, where this morning the county executive issued a mask mandate. As WREG's Luke Jones reports, the requirement comes just 2 weeks before the county's schools are scheduled to reopen.
Monday afternoon at Brighton High School, workers get school buses road ready, while in Covington, teachers are starting 2 weeks in-service training as Tipton County schools prepare to reopen. Students attending face-to-face instruction will be required to wear face coverings, all part of the new normal, says this 11-year-old.
And I've seen TV shows where they have to wear masks, like surgical masks, but I never thought in real life you would have to wear a mask around when you're going shopping or anything like that.
As COVID-19 cases continue to rise in Tipton County, officials here believe this is the best time to put a mask mandate in effect for everyone, not just for students.
And given the fact that in a couple of weeks in Tipton County we're going to be reopening schools, it just seemed to me like anything I could do that would maybe drive the spread of this virus down in front of school opening and try to get these numbers to dip some, both the number of deaths and the positivity rate was something that I had to do.
Huffman says CEOs from 2 prominent Memphis healthcare organizations encouraged some sort of mask mandate.
As you know, in Tipton County, most of our folks go to use the healthcare facilities in Memphis and Shelby County, so I consider that.
Jose Reyes owns a restaurant in Covington. He's still trying to get business back to normal, but says he fully supports the mask mandate.
Also, with me having kids, I think it's very important that we take care, of not only, the rest of the people, but if you can do it yourself, at least you're protecting yourself and you're protecting somebody else.
Luke Jones, WREG News Channel 3.
Go to this story on our website for information on Tipton County schools reopening and what is covered under Tipton County's mask mandate. By the way, Fayette County also announced a mask mandate today. Just 1 week into the new school year in Corinth School District, and officials announce a second and third case of coronavirus at the high school. They haven't said if it's a student or staff. The school says all 3 patients haven't been in the school since last Tuesday, and contact tracing has been completed. They say the district is in close contact with the CDC and Mississippi health officials. Experts say chances are cases of COVID-19 will occur in schools no matter how careful or strict the rules are. While most school districts are starting up again in the coming weeks and finalizing their plans, a local infectious disease expert stresses the need for everyone to stay calm and have a plan for when things go wrong.
But I think the key for schools, flexibility, the ability to test, which we're behind on right now, and a plan for things when the first stage of your plan goes wrong, as it almost certainly will. There will be cases, despite the best laid plans, to prevent them. And when there are, you need the strategy for how to keep that from being just an all-out kind of fiasco.
Can't avoid Murphy's Law. Well, as districts and administrators send updates to our newsroom, we're making sure you have all the information you need. Just head to our website, WREG.com, and look for the Back to School tab. You'll find information about each district's plan to return students back to class. And here's Tim.
Stephanie, right now we're seeing a few showers across the Mid-South on Storm Tracker 3S weather radar. These showers are gently working off to the east, producing some brief moderate to heavy amounts of rainfall. Even a few lightning strikes with this cell here between Olive Branch and Byhalia, Mississippi. You can see that the heaviest rainfall here is actually between Handy Corner and down toward 269. So if you live in this area, you're getting some pretty good rainfall at this point. More showers back over to Alcorn County, Mississippi, around the Corinth area, working over near Glenn and just north of Ryanzi. Temperatures 70s and 80s right now. 86 Memphis, 75 Oxford, 73 Corinth. And these temperatures have been cooled by the rainfall, no doubt about that. These oh, we got a wasp. There he is, showing up today. Early showers ending partly cloudy overnight. Mostly sunny skies tomorrow and some low humidity to tell you about. I'll have that and the wasp update just ahead, Steph.
I'm glad he's outside on the camera and not
Yes.
inside. Thank you, Tim. The Tennessee Valley Authority is responding to a new executive order and the firing of 2 board members by President Trump. The president announced today he fired the chair of the TVA board, James Skip Thompson, along with Richard Howarth. Trump says the TVA has betrayed American workers by hiring foreign workers and overpaying the company's CEO. The announcement came as Trump signed an executive order forbidding federal agencies, including the TVA, from outsourcing jobs overseas. The TVA had previously announced plans to lay off 62 IT workers in Chattanooga and Knoxville and outsource those jobs. Trump said TVA's CEO, who he does not have authority to fire, is paid $8 million a year. The TVA posted a response that says, in part, "We understand and support today's executive order. We want to ensure that U.S. employees have good opportunities through our employment and supply chain practices." The TVA also said all of their employees are U.S.-based citizens. The pandemic is having a deep impact on domestic violence in the Mid-South, and it might get worse. Tomorrow on the news at 6, WREG investigator Jessica Gertler talks to leaders at local women's shelters who explain why the slow reopening of businesses could cause more problems for domestic violence victims. You might think airport security screeners have had an easy few months with less people traveling, but that's not the case, at least not in Memphis. Coming up next on the news at 6, from a bowling pin to loaded guns, plenty of weapons and bizarre items are being confiscated. We'll explain the consequences travelers may face if they're caught.
Number 1 6 p.m. newscast, WREG News Channel 3.
flashbang grenade, loaded firearms, or throwing star, all found in the same place at the Memphis airport. WREG investigator Jessica Gertler shows you what the TSA is uncovering and why there's some new concern.
Got axes, nunchucks, stun guns hidden in flashlights.
Add large knives, loaded firearms, brass knuckles.
Mace hidden in these different containers.
And a bowling pin to that list.
Someone asked me, well, why not the bowling pin? Well, that's a club-like instrument.
Items discovered at the Memphis International Airport.
Just knives alone, we collect over 50 pounds of knives every month.
Kevin McCarthy is the Assistant Federal Security Director for the TSA here.
You can't bring firearms in your carry-on bag.
And while you can see that rule is posted, it continues to happen. Take a look. WREG found out so far this year the TSA confiscated 26 firearms at the Memphis airport. 88% of those were loaded. Compare that to the same time last year. You can see it's slightly down. But keep in mind, due to the coronavirus, this year travel has drastically decreased by more than 800,000 passengers at the Memphis airport.
Our traffic is down 55%, but our gun fines are just down minimally. And when we look at the rate per passenger, it's double what we were last year.
On July 27th, a woman tried to carry on a revolver with 6 rounds in the cylinder. According to the police report, she was carrying the handgun due to an altercation with another person, and she says she forgot to remove it. She was handcuffed, taken to Jail East, and faces felony charges because she's a convicted felon.
But even besides that, you're subject to civil penalty through the TSA with a fine that goes up to $13,000.
It's not just guns that raised the red flag for TSA officers. WREG poured through federal records and learned some unusual and unnerving items were seized here. Last June, someone tried to carry on a flashbang grenade. Then last August, a throwing star was found in a suitcase. It's unclear if those travelers faced any charges or why they tried to bring the items onto the plane in the first place. But what is clear?
So on average, it's about 50, 60 pounds a month of just this kind of stuff.
Stuff his officers haven't stopped looking for. They're decked out in masks, face shields, gloves, and buried behind plexiglass, yet remain vigilant as travel picks back up.
Things are starting to come back. In fact, about 2 weeks ago, Friday, we had 3,400 passengers and employees come through the checkpoint.
Now, if you plan on going on a plane anytime soon, you can go to the TSA's website to get an extensive list on what you can and can't carry on. For an example, you can bring a gun on a plane, you just have to go through the right process and check it. So we put all this information on our website at WREG.com. Just click on this story. Jessica Gertler, WREG News Channel 3.
The TSA says it typically screens about 50 to 60,000 people in the month of April at the Memphis airport. This year, they screened just 13,000. Yet, Tim, they seized all of that stuff. It's unbelievable.
That's incredible. Yeah. And if you're not flying, you have nothing to worry about, right?
That's right.
That's it.
That's right.
That's it. Hey, Steph, we've got some clouds, kind of a mix of clouds and sunshine here in downtown Memphis. There are some showers out there this afternoon. Our high, 91 degrees today. We started at 71 degrees this morning. Currently 84 San Francisco of Assisi and Cordova with northeasterly winds at 9 miles per hour. Notice these temperatures go from 79 in Batesville, 73 in Corinth because of the rainfall, and 86 degrees here in Memphis. Storm Tracker 3S weather radar. We are seeing just a few showers across the region, and that's cooled at least some of you off a bit. This one cell here, just southeastern parts of Shelby County, dropping southward into northwestern Marshall County, Mississippi. Some brief heavy rainfall with that one just north of Byhalia, Mississippi. Then over to a little bit further to the east, Corinth, over toward Glenn, Mississippi, north of Ryanzi. This is starting to push over into Tishomingo County, Mississippi, but a couple of strong cells there. Nothing severe going on, but off to the east, it's a different story with Tropical Storm Isaias, or Isaias, however you like to pronounce that storm. It has 70-mile-per-hour winds. It's moving northeast at about 16 miles per hour, so it is a major tropical storm at this point, and it could actually become a hurricane a little bit later on tonight. These are 40-mile-per-hour winds that are associated with this storm, and they're going to get pummeled up across coastal sections of the Carolinas, Virginia, up into New York and Boston. But our weather pattern here locally across the Mid-South is being influenced by this cold front which has come through. It's a weak front, but nonetheless, it is delivering some slightly cooler temperatures, some lower humidity. So with that drier air in place, the numbers are going to drop tonight into tomorrow, and we're going to get a very nice forecast coming up. So early tomorrow morning, got to take that bike ride or that walk or whatever you like to do at 6 o'clock in the morning. Low to mid 60s starting off, maybe a little patchy fog. And then by lunchtime tomorrow, usually in August around lunch, we're seeing temperatures around the 90-degree mark and usually warmer than that. Tomorrow, mid 70s, upper 70s, and the heat index value is pretty much the same as the air temperature. So don't have to worry about heat indices tomorrow. Low 80s for high temperatures tomorrow. The 6 to 10 day forecast outlook for as far as temperatures are concerned, we're going to start warming up and we'll be below normal on the precipitation, and all that shows up in the 7-day forecast here. 82 tomorrow, mostly sunny, delightfully cool, and then 86 on Wednesday. Still plenty of sunshine. We get closer to normal on Thursday. We bump it up to 88 degrees, but still a very nice day. Into the weekend we go. Low to mid 90s, Saturday, Sunday into Monday of next week. But most of these days are going to be pretty much on the dry side with the rain chances only 20%. That'll tick up just a little bit in the +3 forecast with some rain chances around 20, 30, even 40% as we get into next week. But Steph, enjoy the nice break while it's here. Low to mid 60s tonight and highs tomorrow in the low 80s.
That is a pretty good looking forecast for August.
Yep.
All right, thank you, Tim. Coming up next in sports, the Grizzlies hoping the third time's the charm. On the floor right now, still looking for their first win of this NBA restart.
WRE's Mike Sadie with sports.
With so much excitement heading into the NBA restart, the Grizzlies have struggled in the bubble, dropping their first 2 games in Orlando, seeing their 3.5-game lead for the West's 8th and final playoff spot cut to just 2 games. And tonight, it's their 3rd game in 4 days, a 3rd game against the team chasing them in the standings, this time against Zion Williamson and the Pelicans. This game already underway, and another slow start put the Grizz down 11 in the first, but thanks to Brandon Clark and Grayson Allen, who scored 16 of the Grizzlies' 22 first-quarter points off the bench. The Pelicans lead down to 29-25 in the second quarter. Both teams 0-2, but it's not for a lack of effort for the Grizzlies, especially from their 2 franchise players. Over the first 2 games of this NBA restart, Ja Morant and Jaren Jackson Jr. have done their part and then some. Triple J scored 33 in an overtime loss to the Blazers. Morant almost had a triple-double yesterday, 25, 9, and 9 in a last-second loss to the Spurs. But the only number that matters is 0-2, and the young Grizz know what's at stake tonight.
It's laid out, Pelicans, us, big game, ESPN, back-to-back. Got to find the energy from somewhere. Got to, figure it out. But we'll be ready to play for sure. I don't doubt that at all. And we've been ready to play in both of these games. A lot of things didn't go our way. A lot of balls didn't bounce the right way for us. A lot of, things we could have cleaned up, but our effort was there.
It's not good enough. We've got to be better for 48 minutes. I think these guys are quickly learning that after 2 games. We give ourselves a chance to win a ball game.
We'll have those highlights, full highlights tonight at 10. Things going from bad to worse for the St. Louis Cardinals, who over the past few days have had 13 members of the organization test positive for coronavirus, including 7 players. The Cards' COVID crisis has forced the postponement of their 4-game series in Detroit. That comes on the heels of their weekend series with the Brewers getting wiped out as the team continues to quarantine in their Milwaukee hotel rooms.
You're in a pandemic, and it's almost impossible to say that we can build a dome around ourselves and move from city to city, move from really, our home to the ballpark. We understood there was going to be risk. We tried to put things in place that would prevent this from happening, but it just shows you how challenging that is.
Steph, if all goes as planned, the Cardinals could resume their season Friday at home against the Cubs, but that's a pretty big if. Last weekend, the Miami Marlins had 18 people test positive. They have yet to return to the diamond.
Yeah, as he said, it is a challenge. Thank you, Mike. All right, Tim, he is here with a final look at weather.
That's right. A good-looking forecast for the next few days as we see temperatures in the low to mid-80s, upper 80s by Thursday. Cooler tomorrow, but also we're dealing with some lower humidity, Stephanie. So get outside and enjoy it. A break for August.
All right. Thank you, Tim. Well, that'll do it for the news at 6. We'll see you back here at 10 o'clock. Enjoy the rest of your evening.